Welcome to MCN and our series of videos where we talk to MCN staff about the long-term test bikes they've been running in 2021. And today it's all about Simon's Honda CRF300 Rally Edition. Now, Simon probably got more motorbikes than anyone at MCN, haven't you?
Yeah, one or two.
Or two. Tell us about a few bikes in your collection. You like the classic stuff, don't you?
Yeah. Basically, I've got pretty much all the bikes from the age of 18.
Wow.
So when I was 18, I bought an XT500. I've still got that. That's the start of my collection. And then there's another 29 added to that over 40 years, over 38 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got 30 bikes.
How long have you been riding?
40 years.
40 years.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of experience there.
1 or 2 years, yeah.
So this is a bike that's actually, I've never ridden, so it hasn't been on my radar at all. So just tell us a little bit about what it is, first of all.
Right, basically they did a 250 version which has been running for about 4 or 5 years. People just didn't feel it had enough guts in it. So they've stroked it, made it 287cc. But for me, it's spot on. I used to have the old XL 250S when I was 17, and it's got all that sort of feel about it, very very Honda. Yeah. They've got they've lifted it up. They've given it plenty of clearance. There's enough power. You can sit on a motorway at 70 miles an hour if you need to. But then it'll go down any green lane. Yeah. It'll dig its way out. It'll pull you anywhere. So it's got a bit of grunt in it, low down torque, and the best bit, it's light. Yeah.
So it's quite unique, really, in terms of being a hybrid off-road and road bike.
Yeah. And it's got Honda engineering, so you haven't got problems with so many hours. You've got to get it taken apart, new pistons, new this, new that. It's just very straightforward. It's very much change the oil, clean the filters, check everything through, go and ride it again. Yeah.
I was going to ask you actually, because it's a 300 and because it's very off-roady, can you use it every day as a road bike?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So far, when I first got it, I did find the suspension a bit soft. So day-to-day riding, it would slump and that was the first thing I had to sort on it. Yeah. But as far as day to day, it's comfortable. Even though that looks like a very slim seat, you can sit on there. It only has a small fuel tank, but you can ride. It'll do 84 to the gallon.
Wow.
So it doesn't need a great big tank. It'll keep going, and by the time you need fuel, you're ready to get off it anyway.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Have a little rest
exactly right.
And start.
So how long have you had it and how many miles have you done?
So, got it in May.
Yep.
And so far I've done just under 2,500 miles.
Wow.
So
pretty good, isn't it?
So not too bad when, sort of lockdown and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
sort of
exactly.
Slowed us all up a bit.
Yeah. But and working hard. You design MCN, you design all the pages,
that's
don't you?
That's correct, yeah.
Exactly. So it doesn't look completely standard. So what have you done to it?
Right, first off, sat-nav.
Yeah.
It's a must these days. I'd still like a map, still carry a map, but a sat-nav is great. I just fitted an SW Motec bracket, which just goes on very neatly. You still see your clock perfectly, see the Garmin. Chose Garmin. I've used TomTom, Garmin, don't mind either. Happy with either.
So can you use that for your off-road exploits as well?
But this you can load all the tech maps, which you can't on TomTom at the moment. Whether they get to that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But on here, Honda have already put in a little unit, so you can just basically put a plug on the end of here.
Yeah.
Plug that straight into the system, and then you've got a switched power supply.
Yeah.
So if you leave your sat nav on, you're not going to flatten your battery.
Oh, that's good.
Which is
which
is the only thing that you do ever leave on. There's nothing else. Everything else unplugs.
Yeah.
And then I also added just a power supply, so I can plug in and use me heated gear.
Very useful on a January day like today.
Because it's only a small engine, small battery and all the rest of it. So I didn't go for heated grips. I can plug in and just use heated gloves, a heated jacket, and that's enough to keep you warm in the winter.
Okay, what else?
What else to do? I'm 6'1". When I stand up on this, just in a normal position, off-roading, I just found the handlebars just that little bit too low.
Right.
So I've put in SW Motec bar risers, which have taken out by, it's only an inch, 25 mil.
Makes all the difference.
But yeah, that's just lifted it up. Some service guards, just to protect your levers. If you are off-road, you're not going to snap everything. You can at least know that you could.
You haven't fallen off it. Stayed on.
No, kept it all upright so far. But no, if you do, at least you know your levers are going to be intact. You're not going to be trying to ride home without a clutch or front brake.
Yeah.
What else have I done?
Pipe.
I must admit, it was quiet. It was pleasant enough.
Yeah.
But this is absolutely stunning.
Is it?
I've just put the full system through. It's not stupidly noisy.
Yeah.
But if you turn on the gas, yes, it is quite a bit louder. But you can tootle it along if you're going through narrow, streets and towns and things. You can just pootle it along. It's got plenty of torque, so you can just run it.
Yeah. Has it got more oomph?
Keep the noise. I wouldn't say it's like something like 6% more power it gives it, which is when you only starting with like 27 odd brake horsepower. It's not a huge amount, but it's what it does. It seems to let it breathe better.
Yeah.
So when you accelerate, it will pick up quicker.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's not restricted.
And is it lighter as well?
Yeah, by about 2.5 kilos.
So that must make the biggest difference.
Just on the end can.
Yeah.
But when it's pulling me about, that 2.5 kilos doesn't really make a lot of difference.
Tyres and suspension?
Right, tyres.
Yeah.
Straight away, I did about 1,000 miles on the standard ones. I've gone for Dunlop.
What were the standard ones? Do you remember?
Off the top of my head, no.
Right.
But they were
just generic OE tyres.
Unremarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, off-road, anything. I didn't get on with them. Didn't like them on the road. They'd white line. I just didn't like them. But these, even though they look quite aggressive, quite big knobbles, unbelievable on the road in the wet.
Yeah. So these are Dunlop
D606s.
D606.
And these have done about 1,500 miles. So quite a lot of it's been road miles. So they have got worn down a bit because they are quite a bit taller when you get them. But brilliant off-road.
Are they?
But not too aggressive so that you're tearing up the countryside or anything like that. They're sort of a halfway point, but they clear quickly.
Yeah.
You don't end up with a tyre full of mud and just slimy around. So that's really good. Suspension wise, I took it into K-Tech, and they completely built a setup for me.
Yeah.
So obviously
completely new shock.
Completely new shock, all set up. First of all, they put one spring on. We measured the sag and everything, and they went, "No, we could go the next one up. Then you're not trying to adjust it out. You're starting at the correct thing." So they stripped it all down, rebuilt it, new spring, put that in, and then they rebuilt the front end and put in new internals, new springs, new valve. So it's
just transformed it.
Just unbelievable. Yeah. That has been the biggest thing to this bike. I've
always is, isn't it? From a road bike that's built down to a price.
Yeah.
Put proper suspension on it, just elevates it, doesn't it?
But the price is good. It's just over £6,000.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's for the bike, not the suspension.
Yeah, no. So £6,000 for the complete bike. If they did put good suspension on it, if you're looking at £800 worth of suspension, they wanted 6,800. You might not be happy with the suspension.
Yeah.
So it's better to spend your own £800 on it.
And get it perfect.
And get it to how you want it. You might not like K-Tech, you might prefer another manufacturer, you might want a reservoir, you might want this, that and that. So for me, keep the bike at a good price and then do your own mods.
Yeah.
But,
brilliant.
No, huge difference.
You mentioned the motorway riding earlier, about it sort of purrs along. What about the wind protection? Because bikes like these, you're set up like a sail, aren't you?
Well, rather than, if you've got the L version, you don't get any of this. All this plastics isn't there. It's just literally just this little small tank, and no covers, and you've just got a tiny little screen on front of a headlamp. If you get the rally version, you get this screen, which then takes it over your head, round the sides of you, not to a point where you're trying to push it through the wind and it starts to rock to side to side. That's just right for my height.
Yeah.
But the advantage of this, it then takes the wind and rain and everything else. So when you're sitting with your legs in here, you're literally missing
just
from
in a little
the rain, wind, everything. You hardly. I'm not saying you don't get wet.
Yeah.
You hardly get wet in comparison to a narrow
And all
bike.
this bodywork standard on the Rally.
All this is all standard.
And it looks great as well. It looks cool.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool.
It's all sort of Paris-Dakar look.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just everything neatly in.
Looks brilliant. So where have you been on this bike?
So far, first trip I took it up to Derbyshire, and all just literally set the sat nav for Windies.
Brilliant.
And it just took me everywhere. Normally I'll get a map out, set a route or whatever, but if you set that up to the windiest and also elevations, and I'd just be riding along and all of a sudden it would just take you down to some little...
And it really works.
Yeah, and disappear off and it'd be a dirt track for a bit, then back out, and then you come out, you know somewhere where you are, then it takes you off again.
Yeah.
But I just found it fantastic for that. Up to Lake District, that was probably the longest distance I've done.
Yeah.
Well, no, saying that, I did Northumberland, Durham, County Durham, and then all round into Cumbria, and then did part of the Tet again.
Wow.
Which was like, you know, good few days off road. But having sampled that, you really want to spend, you know, 4 or 5 days up there.
You've definitely done some stuff on it, and it still looks great.
Oh yeah,
like cleaning as well.
It cleans up nicely. Yeah. And also mud and all the rest of it comes off quite easily. The only bit you do get, it does chuck up leaves and bits into here.
Yeah.
Which I just take off the bottom covers and just clean it out.
Just clean it out.
But then you just sort of get that smell of hot earth.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice if you like off-road riding.
Yeah. So if you were going to hang on to this, unfortunately we have to give our long-termers back, don't we?
That is true.
Would you do anything more to it?
The only thing I'd really want to get, you can get some very nice pannier racks for the back. This is a standard Honda one, which I had added by Honda at the start, which is great if you're stuck in mud or whatever. You've got handle, you've got something to get hold of it, to move it about. But the pannier racks just come out either side of the exhaust, and then you can put on just enough luggage, probably so you can go a bit of wild camping, lightweight tents, just small stuff, a little camping stove. I would like to I've done the suspension so it's strong enough, heavy enough duty to take some extra luggage. So, but all these things, because the rear frame on this is completely different from the old 250, nothing fits.
Right.
So everything has to be brand new. So a lot of the manufacturers, no steel.
Right.
No bikes because they're Suez Canal and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So it's taken a while for stuff that it is being made. I have seen, you know, they sort of put some together, but they haven't actually got going with the final construction. So
you make this bike sound so appealing.
I love it.
Really good.
Yeah.
So this $1 million question: would you actually buy one?
100%. Yeah.
Would you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you think you will one day?
Absolutely.
You sound like you love it.
I'm an advocate for it. Anybody who's spoken to me knows how much I like it.
Yeah.
They've and other people have gone away and bought it on the back of it.
Wow.
So
a year isn't enough for you spending money?
No.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
Well, thanks very much for that. It's really interesting. I love the bike. And thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next long-term video coming up soon.